everyone, Topher here. Sorry it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. I've been working really hard on this mental health awareness event, getting book 3 done, and procrastinating in general. This video I thought I would do on bipolar because it's personally relevant and it's also something that's misunderstood. It is misdiagnosed a lot, along with borderline personality disorder, or even depression can masquerade as that, because people just don't know the symptoms of hypomania or mania. So you can go to a textbook, as I always say, and you can get a shallow understanding, but you're going to get it from my perspective, which I feel is something better, because I have read all the textbooks, but I've also experienced it. Excuse me. So there are 3 subtypes of bipolar disorder. Bipolar 1 is the most serious. So you have states of heightened mania where you have these feelings of grandeur, where thoughts are racing through your head, and often it requires hospitalizations because they're just impulsive and it just becomes too much for them to lead a regular life during that roughly week-long period. And again, that's just a guideline. For some it could be shorter, for some it could be longer. And then there's where they spend most of their time, and that's in depression. And there you have your classic depression symptoms. So after that is bipolar 2, which is my diagnosis. The main difference is the mania of bipolar 1 drops to hypomania, which means less manic. So usually hospitalization is not required. Personally, I experience racing thoughts, less need for sleep, less need for eating. I get all these big ideas, and that's really when I do videos, or I do a lot of writing or event planning, stuff I wouldn't normally do. My impulsivity goes up as well, and that's something I've really had to watch. And then that usually lasts 3 to 7 days. And then we're down into depression again for most of the time. The final one is called cyclothymia, and that is really just, you have a history of a hypomanic episode, but most of your time is spent in depression. So cyclothymia, you don't quite meet the criteria for bipolar 1 or 2. It just shows that you have experienced some of the symptoms, but not enough for a full-blown diagnosis. It's similar to dysthymia with depression, where you are depressed as your baseline, but it's not as severe as major depressive disorder, for example. So now it seems simple. You have mania and you have depression, so you jump back and forth between the two. However, the reality is there's mixed state. You can be manic with depressive symptoms, you can be depressive with manic symptoms, and you can be everything in between. So picture a pendulum swinging back and forth from mania to depression, mania to depression. There's that big arcing sweep in the middle where, you know, you spend more time than you think. It's not just a switch from one to the other. There is a lot of space in between. And that's what I've been experiencing a lot of lately. There's also rapid cycling, which is where people cycle from mania to depression. They say 4 or more mood cyclings within a 1-year span. And by they, I mean the American Psychiatric Association in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. I find that to be a low number. I find I cycle a lot more, but they're the experts, right? So another thing about bipolar that's just great is the comorbidity. And often you will have generalized anxiety disorder, ADHD, OCD, substance abuse, phobic disorders, all kinds of things. I've mentioned before about all the acronyms that I've had associated with me, and it's just unbelievable. So again, I mentioned the misdiagnosis. So I posted an article on my Facebook page a little while ago where this person thought they were depressed, but what it really was bipolar. Because they don't realize that when you feel good for a few days, it's not just you having a good few days. It's clinically significant. So I suggest you read that article. I'll post it in the link below, in the description below, if that's the word. And just really take it in and see that diagnosing mental disorders is not that easy. There are millions of symptoms by millions of people, and they try and put them into dozens of boxes, and there is so much overlap. So, I'm bipolar 2 with borderline traits, accompanied by major depressive disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, some Tourette, ADHD, generalized anxiety disorder. It's a mouthful, but they're so easy to mix up, and there's so much overlap that sometimes it's not as clear cut as you have this. And that's why you can go years without knowing what you have, which is what happened to me. Until you find a doctor that says, no, it doesn't fit, this is why, let's put you on this medication. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please post it in the comments below. I will answer them. As for my book, it is nearly done. The BPD Journals III, Stable Instability. I think the name speaks for itself. I'm on the final last few pages, and I think it should be ready to go by the end of August. At the latest. I'm shooting for the end of July though. But I will keep you updated. Make sure you visit my Facebook page. I'll also post that link below. And make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching.